Hey everybody, welcome to Frontline Football. Right before the video starts, I want to ask everybody a question that's been on my mind for a couple days. So, to all you English teachers, English majors, anything that has to do with English, I have a big question for you. So, how come whenever an established author stops their story at the climax with no resolution, it's seen as very groundbreaking and putting it up to your own interpretation? But whenever I do the same thing on my essay, it's a failing graded and incomplete essay and an incomplete story. What if I wanted my story on the climax and not have a resolution? That's just one thing I just gotta say. But welcome to Frontline Football and roll the intro.
All right, welcome to Frontline Football. How you like that new intro for season 1.2? Is it 1.2 or 1.5?
1.5.
All right, 1.5. Now we're gonna just talk about the New York Jets. Jack, what's going on?
All right, today we are going over some New York Jets rumors as of late. As most people know, they got a lot of draft capital, a lot of money, and Sam Darnold is supposed to be on the move. Josh, take us to the game of rumors to give us live updates on Sam Darnold's situation.
Ooh, look, look overturned, everyone. I don't know if you can see, but Mystical Cave of Rumors is back. Time to go in it and find these rumors. Ooh, jeez. Where the heck is it? Here it is. Oof. Jet style notebook. Just for all the Jets news. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I'm translating this right before I say it. So Sam Darnold, it seems like, is not going to be a Jet next year. Seems like they're going to try to trade him away either before the draft day hits or somewhere after or even somewhere before. So I want to take it to Jack because he is the Jets fan here for his thoughts on the news.
All right. So, as for the Sam Darnold situation, I think he is 1,000,000% out. I understand I hear a lot of takes that you should take a tackle at 2 and stick with Sam, but that's just not going to happen. You got to understand, Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh have nothing to do with Sam Darnold being a Jet. That was the previous staff. That was McCagnon, the old GM, Bowles, the old head coach. They have no commitment to Sam Darnold, and they don't want to risk their first shot at being coach and GM on a kid they did not draft. Plus, they made that clear when they called about Matthew Stafford. Do they have any interest in Matthew Stafford? No. It was kind of just like a sign to be like, hey, we're done with this guy. As for the favorites, I believe he will either be a Washington football team, who has literally called nearly every team with an available quarterback about the situation, and the Indianapolis Colts after losing out on the Stafford sweepstakes to the Rams because the offer wasn't high enough. As for my prediction, apparently Schefter says a first. I think realistically, if it's not a late first, it's an early second. But if you can get maybe Joe Douglas, he got 2 firsts for Jamal Adams. Maybe he's able to get someone like Washington, who's desperate for a QB, to give them a first, or the Colts, who are a pretty well built roster to give up their first for a roll the dice on Sam Darnold. But it will be interesting to see how this plays out. But expect a trade to happen within the next couple weeks so they can move forward with whatever they want to do. Fields, Wilson, maybe Watson, probably not. But whatever they want to do, they want to get Sam Darnold out of the building right as soon as possible so they can start focusing on the new quarterbacks that they want to bring in to be the next franchise QB. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that this is a good move by New York and the Salah regime because draft Arnold, just like Jack said, they're going to need a new quarterback to head this system. Now, I don't believe that this quarterback will be Watson because even with the New York media, they would eat Watson up with all of his mistakes that he is making. If he makes any mistakes, even the tiniest ones will be gobbled up by him. So I believe that they're going to probably ship him off to Indy is my prediction and get like a first round pick. So then they have 3 first round picks this year. And then get some good guy in the draft, like probably Lawrence will fall to them. So that's my take on the news. Zach, what's your take?
I think he's actually going to go to the Washington football team. Because it's higher draft. They're actually picking. What is it? They actually have a better pick than the Colts. They're both really. They were both in playoffs, so they're having very not high picks, low picks, right?
Yeah.
That's how you say it. They both have really low picks, so just choose the better one. And who are you not going to deal with more? Well, Colts are in your division, not in your division, but like in your conference. So you're going to deal with the Colts more often than you're going to deal with the football team. So I would give him up for the Colts. I mean, that's my preference on it. Not Colts, football team. You give him up to him so they can get a late first round so then you can draft, like, I don't know, receiver, linebacker, maybe corner. Who knows? You can choose whoever you want at that situation. All right. Well, let's go on to our next story, which is this is really sad for me, but Patrick Peterson, the number one corner for the Arizona Cardinals, has just gotten cut. I don't understand why. He had a decent season this season, but I guess the Cardinals didn't think that he had a season that was worth keeping him for, even though he could train up other corners if we draft one in the off season, if we get one in the draft. So I don't know. I'll hand this one off to Jack.
This one's a very sad story for Zach, at least. But I'm not sure the cap situation with him. So maybe it was to release some cap so they could improve on other positions, get younger. But now I expect the Cardinals offseason's theme to be cornerback. Whether that is addressing it in free agency and getting not necessarily a veteran, but like maybe I think Shaquille Griffin's going to be out there, weekend arrival. Whether that's addressed in the draft with Caleb Farley, Patrick Surtain, who are both top tier corners that may fall to Arizona, or maybe even double dip and you do both, you draft and you get. But corner is a massive priority here for the Cardinals, I think. And this move it was going to happen for cap purposes, I think. And I wish him best of luck. He's most likely going to contender. I'm not sure which one, but I doubt that cornerbacks don't have that long of shelf life. So I expect the move to be for a contender and for the Cardinals to address cornerback this offseason. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I actually think he's going to be going to a team that is a playoff hopeful to be that last step that they need. I'm thinking maybe a team like Tennessee or something in that realm. And the Cardinals have really shown that they're just trying to get somebody either in the draft or by trading or by free agency. I'm guessing it's probably either going to be trading or in the draft. Surtain's looking really good. I don't know if he'll be on the board whenever Cardinals are picking, but he may fall to them. And even then, this cornerback draft, not the deepest that we've ever seen, but it has a couple good names in it. So I would not fault the Cardinals for just picking somebody in the draft this year. Zach, your thoughts?
Zach is frozen.
Zach is frozen. Oh,
Okay, am I back?
Yes.
you're back. Yeah.
Okay, geez, Wi-Fi. Okay, let's talk about the Super Bowl. Jack,
All right.
you want to talk about this?
I'll open us up on Super Bowl recap. We're going to be going over what happened, what was going on in KC, what was going on in Tampa, and our final opinions on it. I guess I'll open up with this story. I'm going to tell you what happened. KC's tackles went out, and JPP and Shaq Barrett feasted. Now, the recap of this game is Mahomes tried. He tried everything. He was doing a pass while he was falling to the ground. He was getting hit. Pressured the most times in Super Bowl history, I believe. That was a stat I saw going around. But the point is, Bucs had a great game plan under Todd Bowles, who's most likely getting another shot at a head coaching job after that. That was very impressive. They were able to slow down Mahomes, stop the yards after catch guys, Tyreek, Kelsey, etc. Bucs Now, I wouldn't call it like an elite offensive performance, but it was a very solid game. Fournette, Mike Evans, Godwin, and specifically Gronk got involved. I believe he caught 2 touchdowns. And overall, I think the Chiefs, the main recap of this game is you can't win a Super Bowl without your tackles. You need tackles, especially against someone like the Bucs, or else you'll get eaten alive. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Well, Mahomes said in his post-game interview that I think that's like the best he's ever gotten beaten, which I thought was impressive. Even though that they had no other tackles, I was expecting at least a touchdown from them. No touchdowns allowed, just field goals, and that's really good for Bucks defense. And I think the Bucks, this team, could go back and do it again, and just beat the Chiefs or beat the Bills or beat anybody that goes back to the Super Bowl. I think that they're my contenders next year for the NFC. Only if they don't lose any players over the offseason or anything like that. If they can just keep that core and build on that core, they will be Super Bowl champs again, in my opinion. Josh?
I just want to say I am so happy about how the game went because this shows the cracks in the Chiefs' armor for the AFC to attack. Because here's the thing. Yes, Mahomes did have to basically run for his life almost the entire game because he had no tackles. But also, you have to remember, these were the same fans who were blaming Josh Allen for the performance last time in the AFC Championship game when he had better stats than Mahomes and could actually, throw it without having to run a million yards just to get a single ball off. And also, I think that this is just starting to prove that Watson is a way better quarterback than Mahomes ever was. And I'm really happy about this game. I'm sorry, Chiefs fans. Hopefully you'll run it back next year. But don't blame your defense. Don't blame the refs. Most of those fouls was because your team was a bunch of idiots and were not disciplined. That's it. You guys were playing a scrappy game and were being very undisciplined in it. So don't blame the refs. Don't blame your defense. This was a whole team thing right there. But good job to Tampa Bay. Tom Brady with number 7. You have finally got off the system quarterback name. So can't wait to see you there next year, hopefully. And good job, Bucks.
All right. So now we're going to go to another story. And it's going to be about the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, we had to mention someone in the Dallas Cowboys. Josh, take it away because they're in Texas.
Dak Prescott most likely wants to stay with, the Dallas Cowboys next year. Now, I'll start with this. I think that this is a good move by the Cowboys. This isn't a really good move by Dak. I think he should really weigh his options before signing with a team. They may franchise tag him, which would be terrible because he's your star quarterback. Give him the money he deserves. Quit franchise tagging him every single year. Just give him the money he deserves. So I'm going to hand it off to Zach for his take.
I think that Dak Prescott, like you just said, should look at other teams. Maybe he could be like a good fit in, like, for example, the Washington football team or the Indianapolis Colts. I would love to see Dak Prescott as a Colt. He would actually look really good. And I think with those weapons, he could make it work. He's a very good quarterback. He's like borderline elite. He's so close on being elite. Like, I think one more year of him proving it to me. And then, even though they got injured this season, I think he's so close. And I just need to see his injury, though. His injury scared me, like, a lot. And I just need to see what he can do when he comes back healthy. Hopefully, he plays the same way he did last season without the injury, because he was like an MVP candidate just by the stats he was pulling. Jack?
This one is interesting. As for Dak, weigh your options first. Cowboys are a little chaotic with Jerry, but, I mean, it's not the worst destination to come back to. It's familiar. You got Cooper, Gallup, CD, Zeke, if he rebounds, and solid offensive line. But like Zach said, the Colts are a very intriguing spot. But Dak, don't let him do it to you again. I think he deserves his money, Cowboys. Give it to him. Give him a contract. Don't tag him. Dedicate to him as the franchise QB, because if he can come back and play at the pre-injury level, he is a franchise QB. We saw that. He was so good in that beginning part of the seasons, and the defense was just letting them down massive. He played out of his mind at the beginning of the year, and without him, the Cowboys collapsed. So it's clear he's an important piece for Dallas, and I do think he'll be staying in Dallas and hopefully getting at least a 4-year extension.
Okay. Well, now we're going to be on our final story. Oh, well, not final. Yeah, our final story. And it's going to be about the chef in the kitchen, Russell Wilson. Can Russ cook? Well, no, not really this season. But he's unhappy with the kitchen of Seattle, and he wants to be out. So, I'll hand this one off to Josh. Josh, what is your thoughts?
I think with this, we have to approach this with some caution because I've heard of so many quarterbacks that have wanted out of their teams right now. So I'm not going to say jump the gun and these are their trade partners. These are all the people who should be lining up to trade for them because I believe that this is just like the Watson situation. You wait it out until the request comes in to trade. Nothing is going on. Unless Wilson is demanding a trade, don't try to hop on this story so quickly because we don't know what's happening. This could just be a lie like some of the stuff that came out about Watson and Wentz. So I'm just going to say until there's a demand for a trade, don't start looking for potential partners for predictions with this. So I'm going to hand it off to Jack for his take.
Now, for all those fans, and if you're out there, you know who you are. You love to put any quarterback. You love to Photoshop the jersey onto your team with this quarterback. Don't start Photoshopping jerseys yet, because I don't think anything's coming out of this. He made it clear he wants to be a Seahawk. He just wants more help, specifically in the offensive line. And I think this is just more of like a thing to get Seattle to go out there, because they got DK, they got Ty Lockett. It's not like weapons are an issue. Just this is the move Russ wants to make so he can get some better pass protection, get some more help on that offensive line specifically, because he gets hit a lot in his career. And I think Seattle, I know you don't have a first, believe you still have a second. You don't have as many holes as most people, so get some linemen, draft a lineman, sign a lineman. Just make this guy happy. Satisfy this guy. He says he wants to be with you. The only reason this is even coming out is over offensive line. He doesn't like to get hit. He's tired of getting hit more often than most QBs do. So I think he 100% get him an offensive line. This is going to be recovered. Seattle's a smart, well-run organization. They'll get him the offensive line, and this will blow over. What are your thoughts, Zach?
How many times have we actually heard Russell Wilson being mad at his team? I feel like it's every year now. Like every single year, Russell Wilson's mad at the Seattle Seahawks for something. It's not receiver help. There's no offensive line. I've heard that for a long time. Because when I chose the Cardinals, I did research ahead of time, and I looked up what was going on. And Russell Wilson, most of the years, was mad. So, I mean, I can't take this, like, putting, like, trade partners out there, but it would be nice to get him out, especially because he's in my division. I would totally like him out of my division. Probably, like, if he could either go to, like, Vikings or something like that. I would not want to see him. I would like him out of my division so I don't play him 2 times a year. But that's just me. But I don't think this is happening. Russell Wilson has stayed in Seattle for God knows how many years, but he always splits with us, so that's nice. I don't know about him, but like if he does get traded, I won't be surprised. But if he doesn't get traded, I won't be surprised either. So, yeah. All right. Well, that does it for our video today. If you liked it, what did they do, Josh?
Like what you saw here, I hope you are having a good day first off. Don't forget to hit that like button, punch that subscribe button, and share this with your friends and hit that notification bell. Because once you hit that notification bell, you join the Frontline Football fan base. Frontline Football fan base is the most up to date on every single one of their pieces of news because they watch us every single week, knowing each and every story to make sure that they look smart in front of their friends who really like football. And I hope you are having a great day. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to share the video with your friends because this is season 1.5, baby. We got the off season. We got no combine. We have the draft. We have the schedule coming out. This is a lot. There's free agency. There are trades. There's so much happening this offseason. So don't go anywhere.
We might be doing a tier list.
Don't go anywhere. We will keep on producing stuff. And Jack, tell them about the socials.
All right, as always, don't forget to follow on Instagram and Twitter at FrontlineFB. And if you're too lazy to type that into your phone, I'll put a link for you in the description so you can click on it, go straight to the Instagram, straight to the Twitter. And like Josh said, we're not going anywhere. We may not have weekly news updates anymore, but we got a lot of off-season ideas. Be ready for free agency previews for every single one of your teams. Your favorite teams, whether it's mock drafts, tier list, all sorts of fun stuff. And we're not going anywhere. We may not have news next week depending on what happens, but if not, we got an interview for you. And that'll be very fun as well. But we will see you next week either way, and welcome to season 1.5.